From 2014 to 2021, Mercedes had 111 race wins. From 2022 to 2024, Mercedes has only one victory to its name. In terms of decline in success, this might be the sharpest decline that any team has seen in the history of F1. Mercedes boss Toto Wolff will go down in history as arguably one of the most successful team principals of all time. He spearheaded an unprecedented 8-year dominant run from Mercedes from 2014 till 2021. The team won 8 consecutive titles, something that has never happened in Formula 1. Well, since 2021, the team has been on a downward spiral. From 2022 to right now in 2024, the team has not fought for the title, and if we go by Toto Wolff's comments recently, it does appear that the best chance for Mercedes to win or challenge for a title is going to come in 2026. In what should be a major blow for Mercedes, arguably the biggest star in the team, Lewis Hamilton, has also called time on his partnership with the team and will be driving for Ferrari in 2025. When you see all of this, when you see the present, the recent past, and the future, there is a question that needs to be asked, and the question is whether Toto Wolff is the right man to lead the team. In this video, I'm not saying that he's entirely unsuitable to lead the team. However, there are certain areas where I have questions and where I actually am starting to doubt whether he is the right man to lead the team. Let's take a look. Now, the first thing that comes to mind is, well, this is the third year of Mercedes' cluelessness. It all started in 2022 when the team launched the zero sidepod concept, a concept that no one else had on the entire grid. Many thought it might have a higher ceiling, and there were others that were a bit skeptic. In the end, what we had was a car that was actually very harsh for drivers, as we saw Lewis even struggle in Baku with back issues because of the kind of bumping the car was suffering from. Now, 2022 was a write-off. The bigger blow was 2023 when Mercedes continued to persist with the zero sidepod concept. Well, it persisted throughout the pre-season test, but as soon as the team reached the first race, Toto Wolff was prompt enough to write off the entire concept and move to a concept that was more similar to what Red Bull had. Now, what that did was an end to the 2023 season as well. During all of this, there was optimism that in 2024, Mercedes will have a much better handle because they would be switching car concepts and they would be switching to a more predictable and probably more driver-friendly and even design-friendly concept that would be easier to develop. Well, we are in 2024 right now and Mercedes has no clue how to develop this car or how to set it up. In the last couple of races, Toto Wolff has fronted the media and said that a change of around 3 to 5 degrees in temperature was responsible for the car falling out of the operating window. Well, if the changes are going to be this minute and if every other team was able to get on top of these changes and Mercedes wasn't, it shows a level of cluelessness when it comes to ground effect. And it also shows the fact that maybe the aerodynamic unit is getting a bit exposed right now. Now, the next part is the lack of clarity when it comes to the future. Now, Lewis Hamilton, his news was a shock. And it's quite obvious that Mercedes was not prepared for something like this. It has been a bit disappointing to see the way Toto has approached everything because, well, first of all, he has been openly quoting Max Verstappen. Well, while there's nothing wrong with that, and it was probably a ploy where he wanted to take the advantage of the in-battles between Red Bull's Christian Horner, Helmut Marko, and the Verstappen faction. Right now, at this moment, it does appear that things have settled down. And it does appear that Red Bull is on a more stable footing as compared to where it was earlier in the season. Despite that, Toto continues to praise Max openly, continues to call him the best driver on the grid, even though he has a Lewis Hamilton and George Russell in his team. Now, while there is no issue with pretty much going after Max Verstappen, it's understandable, but when you can see that there is no future in that particular combination, maybe it's time to take a step back. Also, what has been a bit irritating is, on one side, the team has a young prospect in Kimi Antonelli, someone who has been asked to skip Formula 3 to jump to Formula 2. But right now, there is no clarity on where his future lies. On one side, Toto had hinted that Kimi Antonelli will drive for Mercedes. On the other side, it's been a bit strange because if you are going to go for a Max Verstappen, what are you going to do with the Kimi Antonelli? And finally, most importantly, arguably the driver that is going to lead Mercedes next season and who actually is out of contract at the end of next season is George Russell. And he's the one who's part of Mercedes right now and does not get any mention. In all of this, it does appear that if one sits down and asks Toto Wolff about what the future vision or even the future plan is for Mercedes, it does appear that he has no idea. There's no clarity, and when you have so much uncertainty, it does not bear positive and productive results. And that's where Mercedes is struggling, at least in the near future. Next up is resource drain. Now, let me ask you a question. When was the last time we heard of a major signing for Mercedes? Now, let me ask you another question. When was the last time we heard that a major Mercedes resource was poached by a rival? Well, the answer to the first question is we haven't really had too many major signings for Mercedes. On the other hand, when it comes to personnel being poached, there have been quite a few. Now, when you talk about teams that are going through a revival or actually are trying to rise through the ranks, there is one thing that is quite indicative, and that is the aggressiveness in hiring new talent, proven talent, and maybe someone that could be a great fit for the team. In the last year or so, only Simona Resta has been hired from Ferrari. Now, again, he is a proven talent, but he's no Adrian Newey. He's not someone who's going to drastically change the team. And that's where it does make things a bit uncomfortable, because when Mercedes started dominating in 2014, it did not happen out of the blue. From 2010 to 2013, Ross Brawn put a lot of effort in, and he brought in a lot of key members. There was an entire dream team that was in place that ultimately helped Mercedes become what it became in 2014. Right now, what we have seen is only and only resource drain. New talent has not really made its way to Brackley in a while. And when that is going on, you have to question how proactive Mercedes is, how aggressive it is to have new talent and boost the ranks. Next up is a slightly uncomfortable question. Toto Wolff joined Mercedes in 2013. Was Toto Wolff the real architect of Mercedes' success? Because, well, he joined the team in 2013. Before that, it was Ross Brawn who did the donkey's work. It was Ross Brawn and Michael Schumacher who were responsible in laying down the foundation and getting the core group in place. By the time Ross Brawn left, he left at the eve of 2014. When that happened, you had a team that had a massive power unit advantage over the rest of the grid. Then you had some very key personnel, an entire dream team in place who knew what they had to do. When you have such a team in place, all you need is a manager. Throughout those 6 to 7 years, Toto Wolff should be credited for managing this team. But let's be fair, Toto did not build this team. It was built by Ross Brawn and by Michael Schumacher. Now, this is where things get a bit problematic, because for Mercedes, they have a man who knew how to manage the team in that 7-8 year period where it had a certain advantage. However, in Toto Wolff, Mercedes did not have the man who built the team from scratch. So yes, when you talk about Toto Wolff and the fact that Mercedes is sliding down the pecking order year by year, you have to question, is he the right man to lead the job? The answer could be yes or could be no, because on one side, there are these factors that concern me. There's also the other side where you've seen Toto Wolff in his pomp not too long ago in 2021. So whether Toto Wolff should continue to be the leader at Mercedes or he should be replaced by someone else, that's a call that Mercedes has to take. What do you guys think? Do share your views in the comment section. What do you think? Do you think Toto should be replaced, or do you think Mercedes should stick with him? I hope you guys liked the video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.